Part 9 of 20, title, deeds, and ownership restrictions. 7% of the Florida real estate exam. I'm Getchin Sherry with Homestead Realty. In this episode of Let's Talk Real Estate, I'll go over 20 questions designed to help you pass the state exam. If this is your first time to this channel, please consider subscribing, and I thank you for watching. Let's get right into it. Number 1, title to real property passes to the grantee when the deed is blank and blank. Well, title passes when the deed is delivered and accepted. Now, the word grantee, let's address that real quickly. Grantee, keep in mind, if you know the difference between this simple meaning, you will get many questions correct. Understand, whenever you see the word grantee, that is the receiver, EE, receiver. If the word, whichever word that ends with EE, that is the person receiving. Whereas if it ends with OR, that is the person giving. So the receiver is EE and the giver is OR. So grantor is the person giving the property or giving the rights that he or she owns, transferring that to someone else. So that person will be the grantor, whereas the grantee is the receiver. So when the deed is delivered and it is accepted by the grantee, ownership rights passes, title passes. Number 2, legal rights being conveyed or expressed in the blank clause. Well, that would be the addendum clause. The addendum clause, that's where you specified what rights being transferred to the grantee. Number 3, title to real property is synonymous with blank. Well, title is synonymous, meaning it is the same as ownership. Number 4, the deed that provides the greatest protection to the grantee is the blank deed. Well, the greatest protection to the grantee, meaning the person who's receiving it, if you remember, general warranty deed provides the greatest protection to the grantee, the receiver. So the answer is general warranty deed. Number 5, the quitclaim deed contains blank warrants. Well, a quitclaim deed does not contain any warranties, so the word is no warrants. So a quitclaim deed, the grantor is simply saying, hey, I don't even know if I own this property, but if I own this property, whatever rights I have in this property, it is yours. So it is a quitclaim deed. Number 6, the deed that is used to convey the property of a minor is the blank deed. Well, that would be a guardian deed because a minor is not competent to sign over a deed. So therefore, a guardian would sign the deed on behalf of the minor. Number 7, the 4 rights of government that limit private property rights are blank, 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 and blank. Well, those are police power, eminent domain, taxation, and escheat. Police power is the power of the government to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens, whereas eminent domain is the right of the government to take or to force sell personal property for public benefits, whereas taxation is the right of the government to tax real property, and escheat is when a person passes away and the person did not leave a will and there is no single family member in that personal family tree that's left. Well, the government will not let the property go to waste. The property will be taken by the government to protect and maintain the property. That term is referred to as a street. Number 8, blank, 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 and blank, blank, blank are classified as superior liens. Well, yes, real estate taxes, special assessment, and federal estate taxes are classified as superior liens. Superior liens means these are paid first. Keep in mind, whenever you see the question is asking you which is paid, which has priority of payment. Well, real estate property taxes always come first. Property taxes come first. Special assessment will come second, and federal estate taxes, also known as the death tax, that is when a person passes away and they leave a substantial amount of real estate behind. Well, the person who's inheriting that has to pay a state tax on the property based on the value upon the death. Number 9, when all rights under a lease have been transferred for the entire lease period, the process is called blank assignment. So when you transfer your rights, all your rights, 100% of what's left, it is called an assignment. If it's less than 100%, it would be a sublease. Number 10, the party that receives rights as the result of an assignment is called the assignee. Again, EE is the receiver, OR is the giver. Before moving on, do me a favor, hover over this picture, click subscribe, and click on the bell to be notified when I post new videos. Number 11, which statement is correct concerning a quitclaim deed? Well, here you can see it cures defects in title. Well, the quitclaim deed, remember, the quitclaim deed does not provide any warranty to the grantee, the receiver. So therefore, any issues with title, because the person is receiving, they know whoever's giving it to them is not making any warranty. So defects in title simply means to cure any clouds on the title. Number 12, what does the term title refer to in real estate? Well, that term refers to ownership. Ownership. Title is ownership. Point blank. Number 13, which instrument transfers title from one individual to another? Well, in real estate, we use the deed. The deed is the document that transfers title from one individual to another. Number 14, which set of terms is not synonymous? Well, here we will see what they mean by not synonymous, meaning they're not the same. So the answer is D, grantee and seller. Those are not the same because the grantee is the receiver, so the receiver cannot be the giver at the same time. You can see grantee, that would mean the buyer, and the seller are not the same people. So let's look at A, vendee and purchaser. Well, vendee is the person who is buying. That's the buyer. So the buyer and the purchaser, those terms mean the same thing. B, mortgagee and the lender. Well, contrary to what most people believe, when you give a mortgage, the purchaser gives a mortgage to the bank. So that makes the bank a mortgagee. So therefore, the lender is a mortgagee. That would be correct. Well, let's look at lessor or leaseor and landlord. Well, the leaseor or the lessor is the landlord. So those are all synonymous. Those are all the same thing. They all mean the same with the opposite. Whereas D says buyer and seller. They're not the same. They're opposite. Number 15, what type of deed is most commonly used? Well, a general warranty deed is what is most commonly used. When you buy a property, you will buy a general warranty deed. When you buy a property, you will receive a general warranty deed, unless something else is specified in the contract and you were given due notice. Number 16. What is the term used to describe an individual who dies without leaving a will? Well, a person who dies without leaving a will, that person is referred to as dying intestate. Well, when a person dies intestate, they did not leave a will. If they died testate, they left a will. Number 17, which of the following is required to obtain title by adverse possession? Well, another trick here, this applies 90% of the time. So usually look for answers that are a little longer. If all else fails, if you have no clue, because keep in mind, people tend to be a bit lazy. So a test writer will not write a long answer for a wrong answer. Well, adverse possession, if you've read the material, you understand that the person must, number one, have taken ownership hostile, meaning they were not given permission to move on the property. They live there openly. They live there notoriously throughout the whole year. They took possession adversely, and they lived on the property for 7 or more consecutive years, and they can document that because they pay taxes for 7 years on the property. So therefore you can see then the person can move to quiet title from the owner. Number 18, by what right does the government enforce zoning regulations? Well, that would be the police power. Remember, police power is the government right to protect the health, welfare, and safety of the citizenry. So therefore, the government has the right to enforce zoning. In other words, you would not want, I may have a piece of property next door to your child's, let's say kindergarten school. Well, that may be, I may have the right to own that property, but what I build there is everyone's concern. Zoning is the government's regulation on private property. You can own the property. However, what is built there, what the property is used for, is in the purview of the government, meaning everyone's interest. So therefore, zoning is what you can build where, whereas building code is how you build what is permissible to build. Number 19, what type of notice is considered the best proof of ownership? Well, here, the type of notice that is considered to be the best proof of ownership is constructive notice. Constructive notice is when it is recorded in the public records, meaning giving everybody notice that you are thus the owner. Whereas actual notice is what you hear, see, or read. If I see you moving in and going in inside of a property, I can presume you are the owner. However, if I want to verify you are the owner, I need to go in the public records to see, and that is referred to as constructive notice. Number 20, complete this statement. To help prevent fraudulent documents from being placed in the public records, the documents are blank. Well, the documents will be required to be acknowledged by an officer of the state. Acknowledgement simply means to notarize. While a deed does not have to be notarized to be valid, but it has to be notarized before it is entered in the public records, before it's recorded. So acknowledged by an officer of the state. A notary public is an officer of the state, in essence. That is all we have. And again, please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell if you want to be notified when I post the latest videos. Also, feel free to share, comment, and like if this adds value to you. And again, I thank you for watching. And keep in mind, I post every Tuesday and Thursday. Although there are 19 chapters, so I'm doing 19 parts, but there are also 10% of the exam is math, real estate math. So the 20th, the part 20 is going to be 20 multiple choice math questions. So keep an eye for that. That will be the last thing I will post in this series, and I'll see you on the next video. Have a blessed and productive day.